Hello everyone, and welcome to our online expo series. These online expos will run every Thursday until November 21st. Each week will be a different topic. Next week's online expo will be highlighting some of our nonprofits focusing on animals. Find out more on our website at www.kingcounty.gov/giving. Thank you for attending today's session featuring South King County nonprofits. We're excited to have 4 organizations here with us today: Bridge Disability Ministries, Highline Schools Foundation, and South King Health Foundation. Please note, too, that this session is being recorded and will be available for viewing online after we conclude today. Everyone in the audience is muted. However, if you have questions, feel free to post them in the chat. At the end of all 3 presentations, we will have time for Q&A. There will be a short survey posted in the chat box at the end of today's session. This survey is your entry into our passport drawing on November 15th. First up, please help us welcome Sigre Legre, Development Assistant from Bridge Disability Ministries.
Hi everybody, and thank you so much for inviting me to attend today. My name is Sigrid, as Beth said, and I work with Bridge Disability Ministries. Our code number is 0927 for those of you who would like to find us, which I hope you will. I've volunteered at Bridge since 2012. And I just started working for Bridge this year. So I'm really excited to share with you what we do, who we are, but most importantly, how you can get involved if you would like to. Bridge Disability Ministries has been around for 33 years. Hank Wobster started this nonprofit from his garage when his friend became disabled and had no support. From then, we have grown into quite a huge, I would say, grassroots organization. Bridge Disability's main goal is inclusion. We believe all people with disabilities are valuable and have essential roles in our communities, and we strive to provide several bridges to help remove isolation and foster relationships. We have 3 main ministries, which are Spiritual Connections, Guardianship, and the Meyer Mobility Centers, which are located in Bellevue, where I am, and we are soon opening one up in Tequila near the Costco down by South Center. So we're pretty excited about that. But let me talk to you just a little bit about the great work that each of our ministries provide. And I'll start with our guardianship because a lot of people don't know about this one. On some slides, this is in our Mobility Center. And that is Spiritual Connections. And that's missing the other one. Okay, well, let me go back. Anyways, our guardianship team, we are currently guardians for 58 clients. Regrettably, one of our clients passed away yesterday, so we are providing funeral services. We're purchasing a plot and a plaque for him. It's sad when someone passes on, but we're taking care of them, and that's the most important. But many people with severe disabilities enjoy a lifetime of support from their family and friends, which is how it should be. But oftentimes, the family is no longer to meet these people's needs, and they need a trusted advocate who will help manage their finances and care, and that is where we come in. We take care of our clients from the moment we get them until the time they pass. We are Washington State certified and overseen. So we have many areas that we work with, whether it's Social Security, whether it's with Medicare, all of these we deal with and help our clients out. The other part of our organization is our Spiritual Connection team, and this team works with churches to help bridge isolation and provide relationships and encouragement for each person available to them. And just to recognize each person's spirit is a little different from everyone else's, because accessibility is so much more than a ramp. It has to include an open heart. And last year we touched the lives of over 500 people. And along with partnering with churches on making their establishments more welcoming, it's also about being sensitive to people's needs, such as a lot of autistic children have problems with loud noises and lights. A lot of nonverbal people like to participate, but they can do little grunts and moans, and some people find that uncomfortable, and we want to make sure that everybody stays in a comforting relationship. We also do, with our spiritual connection team, monthly celebrations, which include a lunch or dinner, songs, games, companionship, and fun. This month, if anyone is interested, we are going to be at St. Margaret's Episcopal Church near Victoria Mall on this Sunday. We also do a monthly Roots and Wings Bible study at UPress from 11:30 to 1:30. And Nate, one of our clients, we call them friends. I'm calling them clients here. Just, it feels kind of sterile, but that's what, they legally are clients, but we consider them friends. He is always the one who is conducting the Bible studies. And then every Tuesday, we have an adult disability group that meets from 5 to 7 at Crossroads Church. At Overlake Christian Church, excuse me. And that's a fun group. We've started with 12, and it gets up to be about 18 or 20. And they talk about sports, and there is so much conversation going on there. It can be kind of crazy. But our third, and probably the most noticeable and visible ministry, is our Mara Mobility Center, which has been here in Bellevue. And now, like I said, we are moving down to Tequila to help our neighbors down there. The Mara Mobility Center last year helped 3,186 families gain mobility and to also help keep them safe. We distributed 12,381 pieces of equipment with a retail value of $4.2 million. And I bet you're asking, how did we do that? Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of work down there, so we're always looking for volunteers. And we are blessed that we receive used medical equipment. That's power wheelchairs, scooters, hospital beds, walkers, knee scooters, canes, commodes, bed rails. We get all sorts of stuff, and we're grateful for them all. When we receive the equipment, we go ahead and sterilize and clean it, and then we make sure that it's usable and not broken in any way. And we distribute it back out to the community. We do ask for a small donation, but of course, if they can't donate, we will certainly just go ahead and give that to them so they can be out and about in their communities. People come into us. I mean, it's in a venue down there. It's kind of fun. I like going down. But people come to the equipment center for just basic after surgery, like a hip or knee replacement, or they come in for things that they need permanently that insurance doesn't cover or pay for. And a lot of people don't have the insurance, or even the copay is too much for them to do. So again, if you have family or friends who would like to volunteer, please refer them to our website, bridgemin.org. You can always reach me at 425-885-1006. And I'd be happy to answer your questions too, besides going on the King County employee site. But I also thought I would just share a couple of stories from our Maya Mobility Center that people have written into us to tell us they're grateful, and sometimes just observations as well. But a couple came into our center looking for a cane for her husband, who was about 6'8". He had Parkinson's, and he had uncontrolled limb movements, putting him at risk for falls and head injuries. Well, standard canes are very hard to find for that tall of a body, and we didn't have one. But what we did have was a forearm crutch that was much better than a cane because it provided so much more support for him. So it braced his arm, it gave him a softer and stronger grip, and it could be extended so it could go higher or lower as he needed. We also were able to find him a manual wheelchair that fit his body and frame, so it'd be safer for him to go out. And him and his wife were so happy when they left. It was so encouraging. And we know there's a big difference in his life. Another woman came in looking for help for her brother and his wife, who had suffered a double stroke. and at the base of her brain. She wasn't expected to live, but miraculously she did. And she needed all sorts of equipment that her insurance didn't cover. Like she needed a standing frame, a tilting space wheelchair, all these pieces. We were able to find them for her and locate them. And today, this was about 3 years ago, and today she came in, not today, but today I'm telling you, she came in about last month, right before our auction, and she was walking. She still doesn't talk the best, but she is mobile, and it is amazing to see the transformation in her from when she first walked into our doors to where she is today. So working here and volunteering here, it really encourages you and gives you a positive spin on the world out there. And I just encourage everyone to spread the word about Bridge Ministries. We're here to help people. And if you would like to donate to us financially or just by volunteering, we would so welcome that opportunity. Thanks for listening to me today, and I look forward to any questions that you might have later.
Thank you, Sigrid. Next up, please help me welcome Ann Bonnick, Executive Director, Highline Schools Foundation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate having some time to share with you a little bit about the Highline Schools Foundation. We are a 20-year-old nonprofit that works to unite student support for innovative and equitable learning across Highline Public Schools. You may or may not be familiar with Highline Public Schools. We sit just south of the city of Seattle. If you put a circle right on SeaTac Airport and drew a larger circle around the outside, that is the school district we serve. So whereas many school districts are tied to a specific community, like Seattle Public Schools, we actually are tied to 5 communities: White Center, an unincorporated part of King County, Burien, Normandy Park, Des Moines, and SeaTac. We have approximately 18,300 students in the district, and we are a very diverse district. Over 12,300 of our students qualify for free or reduced price lunch. Nearly 7,000 of our students speak a first language other than English. And last year, over 1,350 of Highline Schools students experienced homelessness sometime during the year. That's the highest number of students experiencing homelessness that we have ever seen in Highline. And if the numbers continue to track the way they are this year, we will surpass that number for the 1920 school year. But I think the most important part to focus on is that 100% of our students are bright, beautiful, and brimming with promise. Just over 20 years ago, many of the parents in the district realized that there were things that weren't able to be provided through state funding and that more resources were necessary. And so that's why the Highline Schools Foundation was established. And since that time, we have continued to add additional programs as the needs of our students increase. For example, we currently do a lot with basic needs for our students. We have students who are food insecure, and we help to provide evening and weekend food. We help to provide clothing and shoes so that they have adequate things to wear to school on a daily basis. This year, we provided over 8,000 backpacks filled with school supplies to students in need. And then we go even deeper for those students currently experiencing homelessness by helping to provide groceries, clothing, and gas funds for families. We recognize that for many of our students, college is just a dream, and so we work on providing post-secondary scholarships to help students with tuition and expenses at 2-year, 4-year, and technical colleges. Our scholarships range in amount from $1,000 to $2,500 spread over 4 years. And those scholarships help to ensure that our students can get in or can fund the schools that they want to attend, which will allow them to help break the cycle of poverty and move forward. Additionally, we know that state funding does not provide all the resources to our teachers, staff, and administrators that they need to be successful with the wide diversity of students that they are serving. And so we provide Excel and Impact grants to our teachers, staff, and administrators to help provide innovative learning opportunities for students. That may be something like new curriculum to work on social emotional learning, or new PE equipment, or last year we funded playground equipment at one of our elementary schools that worked for students who are differently abled. Highline, like many districts in the state, is a pay-to-play district when it comes to athletics. But we know that those fees for student athletes to participate in their middle school and high school teams can sometimes be a barrier to participation. And so for any student in the district that qualifies for free or reduced price meals, we take care of their pay-to-play fees so that they can participate in sports all 3 seasons if they want. And then we also recognize that just like athletics, the arts are a way that engages students more deeply in their school environment. And so we work on funding and providing instruments for band and orchestra to ensure that students have the instrument necessary to be able to participate. Often those rental fees for those instruments go beyond what students are able to provide or to do. And then we also are involved with a program called Graduate Highline, which provides support for programs that help students across the graduation line. One of my favorite of those programs is what we call Project Finish Line. And those are for students who, when they get to their end of the senior year, are just shy of the number of credits that they need to graduate. So with a partnership with Highline College here in our service area, those students go to the Highline College campus each morning for 5 weeks during the summer. There, they are able to do credit recovery to make up their deficit in whatever content area they are in. But at the same time, they're also enrolled in their college introductory courses, which talks about things like financial aid, navigating the college system. And we have had a 100% success rate in getting those students through the summer to graduate, and about an 80% success rate in getting those students to enroll in Highline College for that following year. So Highline Schools Foundation continues to support students throughout our region. Our agency ID number is 9938, and I look forward to answering any questions you might have at the end of this call about the work that we do to support the students of Highline Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. And last up, please welcome from South King Health Foundation, Monica Hurley.
Good afternoon, King County. It is great to be part of this call, and I just thank you all so very much for taking the time out of your day to spend a little time learning about our community. My name is Monica Riccardi Hurley. I have a sister-in-law who's a teacher in the Highline School District, and so one of the things that I love is when we get a chance to partner with so many of the other not-for-profits in our area, and when we have personal connections, that makes it even a little sweeter, I think. So our MultiCare foundational mission is to be partnering for healing and a healthy future. And here at the foundation, we do that through philanthropy. Philanthropy, of course, being love of humankind and love of others, and just how we work together in partnership for having and leading healthy lives. So again, thank you all for spending a little time listening to how we're participating as a partner. Like I said, the mission of MultiCare, not-for-profit, largest actually not-for-profit healthcare system, locally owned and operated. Our mission is to partner for healing and a healthy future. Our vision is that MultiCare will be the Pacific Northwest's highest value system of health, that we will lead as a people-centric community asset, that we will integrate a full continuum of high-performance, customer-focused health and health-related solutions, and deliver world-class outcomes and exceptional experience at a competitive price. As we all know, being healthy and staying healthy is something that costs a major part of what many of us have to invest every month or in our year. But if we don't have our health, we really can't be the contributors to society that I think we all have the opportunity and desire to be. Our values at MultiCare are respect, integrity, stewardship, excellence, collaboration, and kindness. And we reflect those values on the walls of our buildings here in Auburn at our medical center. We have a brand new hospital just opened over a year ago in Covington. We have a beautiful clinic in Kent that helps to serve the daily needs and primary care provider needs, as well as some specialists. We also are a partner in MultiCare as part of our system is the Mary Bridge Network, so taking care of the littlest among us too. And each one of those places, we list these values, not only because we want to hold ourselves accountable to these traits, but because we want people that come in our doors to have those words and those feelings as part of the experience that they have when they're working toward their own health as a partner for whomever they're bringing in or whoever they're taking back out, or for themselves as they get the care that they so desperately need to be healthy. I want to tell you a story about this nice-looking gentleman, Art. Art and Deborah Shrek celebrated their 38th wedding anniversary in October 2017. So just now have obviously celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary. Quite a feat in and of itself these days. Just months before that 38th anniversary, though, back in 2017, Deborah was very fearful that her husband might not get to that day. In fact, just in August that year, Art had visited MultiCare's Tacoma General Hospital for an exam on his neck. He'd noticed a lump there, and within a week, they'd received devastating news. Art had head and neck cancer, and weeks and months followed, filled with surgeries and various forms of treatment to help stop that cancer from spreading. He recalls that they took his tonsils first, since they were the closest to where the cancer started, and then radiation and chemotherapy and all of the effects that came along with that. Art made the decision to stay within the MultiCare system for all of his treatments. He split his appointments between Tacoma General Hospital and Auburn Regional Cancer Center. And the first doctor that they met with at Tacoma General was Dr. Neil Masood. He's an oncology physician. They had about 10 family members who gathered into Dr. Masood's office, and Dr. Masood took the time to explain to each and every one of those family members what was going on and answer each question that came up. The family remarked later he was amazing. In fact, Art and Deborah were so pleased with the level of attentiveness that they had received that they chose to continue to make weekly trips to Tacoma General so that Art could receive all of his chemotherapy under his care. Even just from Auburn, it became quite the trek every week. For radiation, though, they stayed here in Auburn at the Regional Cancer Center, and it was up to 5 times a week that he would come in and see Natalie Zhu, who's our radiation oncologist, that they also chose specifically for an exceptional level of care that she was able to provide to Art and the surrounding care that she did for the rest of the family. After a few months of treatment, the constant back and forth, in addition to the drain on his physical capacity, became a really big challenge. And because she realized this and had been close with him the whole time, our social worker, Lorna Payel, found a way to help. See, she'd been with Art every step of the way. He'd listened to his needs, sought out resources to help his family understand what was going on, and she said that if the patient doesn't have the transportation they need, then the treatment can't occur, and they're not going to get any better. So that's where South King Health Foundation steps in. We collect funds from people like you in large, small, and every other amount in between, and are able to help patients get the things that they need to make sure that their treatment continues. And in our situation, it was a gas card. That's it. Pretty simple. He needed gas cards. And at that point, our oncology social worker said, let's just make that happen. And Deborah says that there just weren't any words to describe how that support changed and revolutionized the stress level for their family, the funding that allowed them to get Art where he needed to be, and that every time when she would break down crying because they didn't know what to do, there was something else that we were able to do to just make that next step better. So the best news of all of this is that today Art is on the road to recovery. He's gained back more than 15 of the 43 pounds that he lost during the chemotherapy. And even though the concentration of the radiation and chemo were on his neck and the muscles around his jaw are still kind of weak and he has to use a feeding tube to help eat, his support hasn't stopped. We've been able to, through our contributions from people like you, help to fund dietitians and nutritionists that are here at the Auburn Regional Cancer Center, and we're helping Art, even a couple years later, relearn how to eat and the joy of eating. I tell you what, there's a chocolate chip cookie waiting for some of us in the next corner, and Art someday is going to be able to remember how that tastes. So meanwhile, they have moved, Art and Deborah, just in the last year to be a little closer to their son, but they continue to make thank you calls and visits with us here in Auburn. And they're living a really robust life. Thanks again to supportive people like you who are able to give a little to make a huge impact. So that's just one of many stories that we have about how we give a little bit, each one of us, to make a huge impact. And we have that available funding when our patients need it. Here in the hospitals, we've also done certain amazing things like help to fund a canine unit that is now wandering and helping us to identify when there's dangerous situations, de-escalating some potential dangerous situations that happen around hospitals. We've funded new recliners to help people that are needing to move out of their hospital bed into a recliner and be safer when they get back to their homes. And we're doing a lot of other things that just kind of depend on what the current need is. Babies to people that are in their last breath, we care for them all as a partner for healing and a healthy future. So South King Health Foundation, part of the MultiCare system, our code for your giving through the King County website would be 9686. We can also take a phone call if you'd rather make a non-payroll deduction gift, but I know that there's some great incentives to do that, and we are just so very grateful to be a partner with all of you here in King County, and thank you for the work that you do just as great contributors. Thanks.
Thank you, Monica. Now we'd like to go to some questions from the audience, and it looks like the first question is for Anne, the Executive Director at Highline Schools. So Anne, do Highline Schools have separate PTOs or PSOs? And if so, how does the Highline Schools Foundation work with those organizations?
Only a few of the schools in our district would have active PTOs, PSOs. The demographics of the student body don't lend themselves necessarily to those organizations being successful. We do, however, work with the PTAs, PTOs, organizations for those schools that have it. And in fact, just this morning, I heard from the president of the Highline Council, which is where all the PTA, PTO organizations come together, and we're talking about working together on an event. I think the biggest difference is whereas we serve the district as a whole, those organizations would focus on one school and usually don't have the breadth of programming that the foundation would have, but definitely partnerships.
Okay, great. Thank you. And for Sigrid, does Bridge Disabilities serve specific geographical areas, or are they anywhere and everywhere?
Hi, here I am. We will serve anywhere. We're based out of Bellevue, and our new location is in Tukwila near the Costco down behind South Center. But if you can come to us, we will give you the equipment and you can take it where it needs to go. We'll just need to get some measurements if it's a wheelchair or something, so we can make sure that when we pass it along, when they receive it, hopefully it will fit them correctly.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for all of the organizations. What type of volunteer opportunities are available at each of your organizations? This person is especially curious about opportunities for full-time employees who might only have evenings and weekends available.
I'm happy to start with that. This is Monica over here at MultiCare. We have a ton of volunteer opportunities, and we work 24/7 through our hospitals. So we have volunteers that are with us in hospital settings pretty much not exactly 24/7. We do kind of shut down some of the volunteer work at night, but there are some of that. Greatest place to find out about that is at www.support.multicare.org, and I'll post that in the message section here as well. But some of the things that we have are wayfinders. We need people to help find their way in a stressful situation when they come into a hospital. We have volunteers who also help at our special events, and in South King County, we're going to launch a special gala event to help all of the needs in our area around mental and behavioral health. That'll be in April, so we'll need some volunteers to help put that event together. We have boards and committees that also work on the behalf of our not-for-profit that we'd love to talk to you about. And again, I'll post that on the chat section. But just absolutely, we value those volunteers incredibly so, and we can find a place and a time for just about any need.
And this is Ann at Highline Schools Foundation. Similarly, we have a number of opportunities both during the day and in the evenings and weekends. We do 4 major fundraising events a year: a corporate breakfast, a golf tournament, a dinner and auction, and a 5K run. And we're looking for volunteers consistently to both help in planning those as well as to help run those events. In fact, one of them is Friday, October 25th, tomorrow, at 5:30 p.m. at the Normandy Park Cove, our Oktoberfest event. We too have committee and board positions available for volunteers. We usually have people start out serving on one of our committees, whether it's helping look at programs or read scholarship applications or help in selection of grant applications. And as they get familiar with our organization and their interest grows, we can talk with them about a board position, and our board does meet in the evening as well. And then finally, if people have availability during the day, we have put them in partnership with some of our schools and some of our partner organizations. For example, several of our schools have reading partner programs where volunteers come in during the day and help work with children one-on-one around reading to make sure that we're providing students with the support that they need to be successful.
This is Sigrid with Bridge Disability Ministries, and our volunteer, we're a smaller group, but if there is a group of people who would like to volunteer on a Saturday or in the evenings, we would be more than happy to open up our mobility centers to let people come in and help refurbish the equipment. We also do our monthly gatherings on Sundays, and we're always looking for support there to help serve our clients, as well as just to set up and do takedowns as well. But we are very flexible, so if there are some volunteers who'd like to work on the evenings or on a weekend, I'm sure we could accommodate. Thanks for the question.
Okay, do we have any other questions from our audience? All right. So there is a link in the survey, again, just so you remember, so that you can enter to win. And thank you all for coming today. We look forward to seeing you next week or at one of our future Expo sessions.